Today, more than 130 Catholic cardinals will come together behind the locked doors of the Sistine Chapel for the start of the highly secretive conclave, that centuries-old process of electing the next leader of the Catholic faith. Joining us now, Redmond Shannon, who is in Rome and following these historic events. Redmond, thank you so much for making the time. Can you take us through what we can expect to happen today? I understand it might not be a one-day process, but at least for today, what should we be looking for?
Yes, Candice. Well, this morning, the cardinals who will be taking place in the conclave gathered in St. Peter's Basilica here in the Vatican for a special mass ahead of that historic first vote of the conclave. And there, the cardinal celebrating the mass, Giovanni Battista Re, said that these cardinals have before them an important choice that the whole world is looking at, that the whole world, he said, needs a strong pope at this crossroads in history. Now, in a short time, the cardinals will make their way from where they're staying here in the Vatican to the Sistine Chapel. The doors will be locked, and then the 133 cardinals, 4 of them Canadian, will look to appoint the next pope. Now, what they need to do is reach a 2/3 majority. That's 89 cardinals, all voting, at least 89, for the same candidate. It's not expected that they would reach that 2/3 majority today, but the only way we'll know is having a look at that chimney on top of St. Peter, on top of the Sistine Chapel. If it's black smoke, it means they did not reach a consensus. But if it's white smoke, that means a new pope has been elected.
Okay, Redmond, I wonder, has anyone emerged out of the group as a front runner or a main contender?
Well, Candice, analysts say that this could be one of the hardest papal conclaves to predict because the diversity of candidates from the continents across the world, more cardinals from Asia, from Latin America and from Africa, means these groupings of cardinals are less likely to congregate earlier in the vote. So it will be difficult to say. The number of candidates is being touted as potential frontrunners is between 10 and 12. Take it in mind that Pope Francis, when he was elected, wasn't even in that top 10 or 12 favourites, so anything can happen. But 2 of the main candidates being touted are Cardinals Pietro Parolin, the Secretary of State for the Vatican, and Cardinal Tagle from the Philippines. Those seen as 2 liberal candidates favoured to take over from Francis. But an analyst, historian from Oxford University told me yesterday there are now even reasons this week to think that their chances might be fading. Take a listen.
Parolin comes under a lot of criticism from people who say, well, he's just a bureaucrat, he doesn't really believe in anything, or we don't know what he believes, and he's tainted by a lot of grubby deals that have taken place over the last 12 years, especially the Vatican's accords with China. Tagle, he has problems too, one of which is that people say, well, he hasn't got any administrative competence at all, that Pope Francis removed him from a role because he couldn't manage it, and so he might not cope with that side of being Pope.
Okay, so here we have a process shrouded in secrecy, steeped in tradition, and a bit of politics there as well, Redmond. So how long could it all go on for?
Well, I guess only God knows, and the cardinals themselves, Candice. If they don't reach that decision this evening, then they're back for 4 votes tomorrow, 2 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon until they reach that. Then back on Friday. If they don't reach a decision by Friday, they'll take a rest day. But it is worth noting that it's very rare over the last 20th century and this century for it to go past that 3rd day. So we do hope and expect to have a pope by Friday, but you just never know.
Okay, Redmond, thanks again so much for joining us and for that insight. That's Redmond Shannon reporting from Rome.